Hello, everybody. How are you tonight? Or I guess I should say this evening. I don't know why I call 6 o'clock like the night when it's literally evening. Any other time of the year, it would still be light outside. But you know, now it's like dark all the time. It feels like nighttime. But anyways, how are you guys doing today? Hope you're doing well. I have a few things that I want to talk about before I actually start today. And I actually have a list this time, so I won't forget. But I just wanted to get to that. I hope the music is a good volume. It's quiet for me, but looking at the levels, I don't know, I can't tell. I'm just gonna bring it down here. I hope that's good. Okay, so thing number one, there is a poll that if you haven't voted on it, you can vote on it right now. It is for what video I should do next. Quite a few votes. I think this might be around a good point for me to like call it. I really thought the dance video was going to make it, but apparently the majority of you all want me to make a video about the guy who made 12 films during a pandemic, which is really interesting. I actually can't wait to do that one. That's gonna be a fun one. I think you guys are gonna like that, especially since I have a personal connection to it. So that's that. That's just a really quick thing. The next thing is that you may have noticed that super chats are no longer an option for the chat. I've gone over this in a previous stream, kinda, sorta, but I just don't really like the idea of super chats because number one, YouTube takes a cut of it, which I'm not really a fan of, and number two, I'm not gonna be seeing that money either for several months or like up to a year, because the way YouTube monetization works is that if you have it enabled, you can't, or I guess it's more AdSense than monetization, but you can't get any of your AdSense money until you've made $100. And now, up to this point, since September, which is when I first had it enabled, I've made $21. So I'm not going to be seeing that money for a very long time. So hopefully you guys can see it, but there's a pinned message in the chat. I don't know what it looks like on mobile, but on PC it's like kind of blue and it's pinned. I really hope it's there. If it's not, I'm going to be super mad. But Streamlabs, which is what I used to stream, has a built-in option for, they're not really super chats, they're just like donations that have a message that'll pop up on screen and I'll read them out. It's basically super chats, but you know, I get all of the money instantly, like it goes directly to my PayPal, and I just think that's way better. So if you want to donate, if you want to send me a message, I mean, I'm still going to read your chat messages, but if you want to like have it up on screen and all of that, Streamlabs will be the way to do it. You use PayPal or card. Go wild. After that, I got an interview for a job. What was that, Tuesday? Yeah, that was Tuesday. That was a couple of days ago. It feels like a million years ago. But you can see the pinned message. Oh, that's fantastic. Okay. So I got a job interview for an internship for creative development, which is basically where I'd be reading scripts and giving feedback on them, saying whether or not the studio that I would be working for should develop it into a further thing. I don't know if I got the job yet. I'll know by next week. But if I do get it, I think it's like, 2 days a week? It's an internship. It's remote, and I'm also not getting paid. But, you know, at this point, I don't think I can really be choosy about the kinds of things that I apply for. At this point, I just need the experience. So I think I did okay on my interview. There's this one question where the guy asked me what Disney character I see myself as, and I don't consume Disney content like at all. So he had to change the question to be what animal do I see myself as, and I kind of fumbled through that. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. It feels like I biffed it, but I'm gonna stay optimistic for now and just hope that I got the internship. If not, life goes on. Literally nothing changed. I'll just keep applying for more, but you know, that's what's going on. So, final thing on this list that I have, the elephant in the room of what happened yesterday. I'm sure you've heard from basically everybody, any place that exists, you've probably heard of it if you live in the United States. But honestly, places outside the United States are commenting on it as well, because it is kind of a big deal. That was the reason why I couldn't really stream yesterday. I saw the whole thing unfold in real time. Like, I was watching the Senate proceedings with my mom, Just really out of curiosity. I just wanted to know what would happen. I did say on CNN, didn't I? And then, like, when they went to recess, when they said, oh, we're going to dispute Arizona, that's when all of that kind of went down, and I kind of watched all of that, and honestly, it still feels super surreal that all of that happened. I'm still trying to process it. It's honestly really, really intense. I really don't know what to say about it, but, you know, it's a thing that happened, and now we have to deal with it, I guess. I was talking to a friend about it yesterday, and he's, like, not really, I guess, a political person. He doesn't really pay attention to politics, really, at all, and I kind of have to tell him about all this stuff. And I just remember he told me that, you know, none of this is going to happen in a week. Or, no, none of this is going to matter in a week, which is so patently false. I don't even know how to feel about that statement right now. This is going to matter for the rest of United States history, you know? I feel like this is a really big deal, and it really weighed heavily on me yesterday, considering I saw all of it unfold in real time, which is why I couldn't stream yesterday. If you're wondering what I'm talking about, some people, well, a bunch of Trump supporters, like, broke into the United States Capitol, which is a really wild thing to say, you know? But, I mean, that's really all I'm going to say on it. You've heard a lot from a lot of different places already, and, you know, yeah, that's really all I have to say. So, on to the main event now. What we're going to be doing today is we're going to be reading the story that I wrote while I was in the 10th grade, so about 14 to 15 years old when I wrote it. Quite a long time ago. I'm 21 now, just in case you were wondering. A lot of people don't know that did I just say I was 25? Oh my goodness, I'm 21. Did I say I was 25? Dude, my brain is melting. I can't. Anyways, we're gonna be reading a story that I wrote quite some time ago and published it on Wattpad. Is there a date here? There is no, like, publishing date. So, if I remember correctly, it's, I want to say, like, I don't know. I want to say it was written between August to October, like, 2014. So about when I was 14 turning 15. And if you'll remember from a previous stream, which I know not everybody watches all of my streams, oh, that's fine, but this is the one where I read it to my entire 10th grade English class. Everybody loved it. My 10th grade English teacher had some kind of vendetta against me, so he decided to, like, put me down by saying nobody liked my story and that I would never be a good writer or something like that. It was all very dramatic. He got fired after that, not because that happened, but because he was just a terrible teacher. So, yeah, that's what happened. Let's see. Where is it? There it is. Alright. It's called The Underground. Also, if you're wondering, the music is just Chrono Trigger music. I really like Chrono Trigger music. I never played the game before, but I do like the music. It's very nice. I think it makes really good background music for this, and I feel like I'm... There we go. I had to move the camera. I feel like I was off center. Alright, let me read some of these messages. Dude, that's something that's probably going to go in the history books. It's a very big deal. It for sure matter in a week. Yeah, I really don't know how I can make my friend understand the gravity of that situation. He might be a lost cause, who knows? And if he is, that's fine. He is white, if that makes any difference. Anyways, enough about that. So, let's just get into it. Also, I want to say, this story will take about an hour to go through. It's, how many parts? 16 parts, and like 14 chapters plus a prologue. I know it takes an hour because that's how long it took me when I read it in the 10th grade. I don't think I've gotten any faster or slower since then, so yeah. And also, my voice, like, goes out when I'm talking, and really when I'm streaming, like, incredibly quickly. So when I'm done with this is probably, like, going to be the end of the stream. But if I feel like I want to keep going, I have another thing that we're going to do, potentially. However, that also includes, or requires, like, a lot of talking, so I don't know. I have my water, though. I came prepared. This thing is full. And we're going to stay hydrated. We're going to lubricate my vocal cords. Alright, also, before I start, a lot of this isn't going to make any sense because I just didn't know what I was talking about at age 14 to 15, so, you'll see. So, the synopsis. Once government conformist and soldier Joanna Ayers is kidnapped and forced to work for the libertarian resistance known as the Underground. She is faced with the hard choice of having to conform to them or resist the resistance. See, I didn't know what libertarian meant back then. I only kind of know what it means now. But just know that libertarian as it exists here is not the actual, libertarian political ideology. Just so you know. Okay, well, I guess we gotta start. Prologue, Part 1. Alright. Shells were coming from almost every direction. The resistance amped up their firepower, but my team seemed to do well. A grenade landed nearby and I was knocked to the ground. "Joanna!" one of my teammates shrieked. Before I could regain my hearing and part of my sight, I was dragged by my shoulders to a shady area of brush. "Thank you," I say, weak from the explosion. "Don't get up," a booming voice said. "Stay where you are." "Who are you?" I asked, ready to pull out my knife. "You know us, Joanna." How did he know my name? The voice was new to me, and I was unable to move my head to see his face. Before I could yell for help or reach for my weapons, a dusty, sweet-smelling rag was placed over my face, and I was out in seconds. I found myself drifting in and out of consciousness to hear the booming voice shout orders to his men and a few women. The next time I awoke, I was on a dark, fast-moving train. Was it night already? No, that can't be. There aren't many above-ground trains in Asium. My heart sank. I know exactly where I am. I'm too weak to move, and I can't talk. The booming voice ordered one of his men to put the sweet-smelling rag over my face again. I think it was chloroform. Some time later, a gruff-looking woman violently shook me awake. "What's going on?" I demanded. "Where am I?" "In due time, Joanna," the booming voice said. I can finally see what he looks like. He was tall and broad-shouldered with menacing blue eyes. "Welcome to the Underground," he said. Also, by the way, if any of you hear a shrieking child in the background, we have a 1-year-old in the house, and he likes to yell, so fair warning beforehand. So, I put a little annotation here that says, it is said chloroform has a sweet smell, which I guess that's true, but also I'd like to point out the whole chloroform thing, that doesn't even really work. It would take a really long time to knock somebody out with it, so that whole trope is dead, but hey, it's 2015, we gotta work with what we got. Alright, Prologue, Part 2. Oh my goodness, my headphones. I can't believe it. The Underground? The Resistance? It was like I was in a dream, only the chloroform was beginning to wear off and my senses were sharpening by the second. "I know this all seems strange to you," the man with the booming voice said. "I know you're thinking, what am I doing here? I love my totalitarian government." "Well, that's where I know you're wrong." The man reached inside a box that sat on a nearby table and pulled out a grainy gosh, we're already starting early with this, I can't believe it. And pulled out a grainy photo of myself and one of my former comrades. "Do you know this man?" the man asked. "Yes," I answer. "That was a good friend of mine." The picture was of me and Ronald Cremack. All the names in this are randomly generated, by the way, and I hate a lot of them. Anyways, sitting in one of the capital's anti-libertarian bistros. It's going to take a lot for me to not laugh every time I come across the word libertarian, because it's just so wrong. It's just so wrong, but we gotta push through it. The man set the picture down. "Well," oh, I lost my place. "Well, you'll be happy to know that this man was not Ronald Cremack. His name is Harvey Hubert, and he works for us. He's on assignment now, and I doubt you'll see much of him. I was always led to believe Ronald, or rather Harvey, was killed in combat. He was nothing but an informant. A liar." "What's this got to do with me?" I asked. Well, Miss Ayers, you have quite the mouth on you. You told Harvey everything we need to know. Everything about the everything about the ever-watching eye. Your friends, the totalitarians, the capital subways, everything. The subways were the Resistance #1 target. It allows them to carefully infiltrate cities and take them over. Now that they have information on the capital subway, they might be able to take over all of Asium and begin spreading their libertarian propaganda from coast to coast. I can't let this happen. You monsters, I shout. The capital will never allow this to happen. They'll know I'm gone and they'll search for me. They'll tear Asium apart if they have to. Everyone's disposable, the man said. Don't you see how fast your buddy Ronald was replaced? The capital will do everything they have to fight us. But, I stammered, there's nothing else to say. The man with the booming voice and menacing eyes was right. There was nothing I could do. Well, Joanna, the man said, since you were a second banana to the capital themselves, have fun being leader of the leader of the libertarians now. I feel you would know how to fight yourself the best. Leader of the resistance? How could I fight the people who protect Asium? Wow. Also, I don't know why I went through to, annotate this for whatever reason. I don't know if this goes to, the other chapters. I'm gonna assume so, but anyway. Moving on. We're at chapter 1, baby! Viva la revolucion! 1 month later. And you're sure this will work? The man with the booming voice, who introduced himself as simply Sebastian, asked. By the way, at this time, I thought Sebastian was, the most evil name. I used that for, so many villain characters, mostly for stuff that I didn't publish, but I don't know if I think Sebastian is, an evil name now, but I did at the time, and I just find that so funny. Anyways, 100% positive, I replied. Would I lead you astray? Sebastian just grunted. So, Violet Styles, Sebastian's closest aide said, the subways aren't actually blocked, just guarded. Yes, guarded by motion-detecting turrets. We can disarm them by standing back 50 feet so that it doesn't see you, and then shoot it. Violet lit up. She's the best shot in the entire Blair Hill sect of the Resistance, which is fairly large. I'll go gather some people and we can be on our way then, Violet said excitedly. As she bounced off, Sebastian slowly walked over and stared at me straight in the eyes, sending a shiver down my spine. It was almost like he knew I was lying. A menacing smirk crept upon his face as he walked away to rouse the train conductor and prepare the others for the journey. Starting off pretty strong, I think. The old tracks rattled as the train chugged towards the capital. The Resistance's base is located 50 miles south of the capital in the subway systems of Blair Hill. It took a few minutes to reach the quarter-way point at Asium River Junction, where we will cover the rest of the way on foot. The train car consisted of me, Violet, and some of the others who don't need names, I guess. Sebastian decided not to go because he had other things to attend to. We were armed only with guns and light armor because of the strategy we were to carry out once we reached the opening of the capital subway systems. Oh, I thought I had to burp. Nope, I do. The train screeched to a halt. My heart pounded inside my chest as I shared a look with Violet. Onward, she whispered. Like I said, it's been a while since I read this. I think it's been a good few years since I read this. And honestly, I kind of stan myself. I mean, it is kind of cringe, but I do like this story a lot still. I feel like it could be salvageable, you know? Chapter 2, Backfire. We unloaded the train car and proceeded forward. It would be 5 miles until we reached the edge of the capital subway, and another 5 miles until we got to the turrets. That's 40 miles by train and 10 miles by foot. That's kind of a lot. We left at midday, and it would be night once we reached our destination. Yeah, I guess that's true. Since the trains in the capital didn't run because they had nowhere to go, the tracks are clear. This will give us more this should be the tracks were clear. Tense issues. This will give us more time to trek the dark tunnels without having to hide from oncoming trains. Also, I should point out, if they were in an actual subway tunnel, there'd be no space. It would just be enough room for like a train. Maybe 2 if it was like 2 tracks. You know? Anyway. Where am I? Long walk unbearable. It was hard to keep track of time with the government outlawing the use of watches. For a time I can't remember right now. Actually, never mind. I'll get to that. My team and I were silent, but it seems like Violet was energizing with every step. I suppose she really wants to take down the ever-watching eye. I almost feel bad for what will inevitably happen to her. Okay. After what seemed like forever, Violet excitedly whispered, "Look, there they are." Sure enough, 3 military-grade, 7-foot-tall motion-sensing turrets were sitting dormant. 7 foot, that's huge. How do you shoot down a 7-foot-tall turret? That's all I want to know. Anywho, where am I? Keep back, Violet warned. I got this. Violet slowly crouch-walked forward as I had instructed. The air, God, her knees must be killing her. The air was still thick and heavy with my anxiety. As Violet walked to the 50 feet mark. She aimed, squeezed the trigger, nothing. She checked the safety, tried again, still nothing. Violet stood up from crouching and turned around, but before she could say anything, all 3 turrets activated and began showering Violet with their hollow point bullets. Forgot to capitalize her name there. Easily piercing her armor and spraying scarlet blood on the tunnel floor. I was mortified at the brutality of the turrets, but I felt no remorse for leading her into the trap. It was a trap. It's a cool premise, probably could be reworked into a really good story. Yeah, when I was thinking about doing the stream, I thought, you know what? After this, I should probably, try to work on making this something. But, so on the point with the watches being outlawed for no particular reason, I saw a video last night where during, like, the, I want to say, like, the French Revolution or something like that, they, like, completely changed, like, the entire time system in France, so that it was, like, I can't really remember, but I know it's like 100 minutes in an hour and 100 seconds in a minute, which makes absolutely no sense and just doesn't really work at all. And that was done to, like, keep people from going to church because they would forget, like, 10 days per week. That's also what they did. They would try to make people forget what day Sunday was so they wouldn't go to church. And I thought that was really interesting. I didn't know that was a thing that happened. So, it's not completely outside of the realm of possibility. It's just that for the purpose of this story, it makes 0 sense. I also didn't know this when I was writing this. Like I said, I literally found that out last night. Anywho. Chapter 3. Remorse. Violet's body hit the ground. Oh, God. Voice crack. Hold on. I need some water. Gotta take a water break. Okay. Always stay hydrated, fellas. Violet's body hit the ground with a thud. The other 3 in my group stood, mouth agape, hands quivering. I seemed to be the only one showing no remorse, or showing no emotion. I seemed to be the only one not showing emotion. Goodness, I can't read. Shame, I whispered to myself. I knew a recruit, Isaiah Norton. I have no idea why was brought along. I'm missing a word, but okay. Raised his gun as if he were about to shoot the turrets in retaliation. Don't, I said. The bullets will only ricochet and set off the turrets again. Well, what are we going to do with her body? Clarissa Norton, Isaiah's sister, asked. We can't just leave her there. Can and will, I said. It's too dangerous. How did you not know this would happen? Isaiah furiously asked. I just shrugged. The government changes up all the time. There's no way of keeping track. The 2 of them shot me equally dirty looks. We have to get back to the train. The capital will know the turrets went off and will be down here in a matter of seconds. Reluctantly, Isaiah and Clarissa followed me through the dark tunnel back to the train car. I had actually lied. There's no way of anyone knowing what went down at the turrets unless a government patrol came to check on them and saw Violet's bloodied, mutilated body. Even if they found her body, there's no way of knowing she was part of the resistance. All resistance members have either faked their identity, or, my goodness, faked their death, or moved away without leaving a trace of their existence. To the government, Violet didn't exist. Shame, Sebastian said, not showing any signs of sadness or grief. When I brought the news of Violet's death, he gave nothing but an agitated look. She was such an asset, he continued. We'll have to find some other means of getting into the capital. When I got to my quarters for the night, a painful realization hit me like a ton of bricks. I just led someone to their death, I thought. What the hell is wrong with me? Then, for the first time since my brother was taken away by the government for insubordination, I broke down and cried. I had nightmares that night. It could have been me who was killed by those turrets, but instead, it was someone who probably didn't deserve it. At some point in the night, Clarissa found her way into my bunk and stood over my bed thinking I was asleep. After a while, she crossed her arms and shook her head slowly. Shame, she said. Wow. Yeah. So, okay. If this was a setup, which listen, I can't remember, but if this was a setup to, like, kill Violet, then I don't know why Joanna's showing any remorse, like, at the last minute, like, growing I don't know, we're gonna move on. Okay. Chapter 4, 3 Weeks Hell. Violet's death haunted me for 3 weeks following the event. Only 3 weeks, by the way. Just 3. That's enough time to get over seeing someone literally murdered. Just 3 weeks. That's it. Anywho. I feel like I got a burp again. Ugh. Violet's death haunted me for 3 weeks following the event. I'm getting phlegmy again. Hold on, give me a second. Okay. That's kind of better. Violet's death haunted me for 3 weeks following the event. I felt so responsible for it, even though her gun jammed without my influence. In the first week, I realized something. I explicitly instructed not to make any sudden movements. Violet stood up quickly after her gun jammed, therefore setting off the turrets. There's no way I could be held responsible for any of this. But then there's Isaiah. I told him shooting the turrets will only make the bullets ricochet. In the same day, I said shooting them would disarm them. If I ever brought that up to anyone, they would see my faults and become suspicious, so I just distanced myself from others. This should be, like, immediately suspicious. I don't know how anyone didn't, like, catch on to her, but... Oh, wait. Yes, I do. Never mind. I forgot I wrote this story. I know how this ends, so never mind. What did I just do? Oh. Where am I? The second week, I thought I was in the clear, but when Sebastian came to me with having to announce Violet's cause of death formally over the... Hold on, I gotta reread that. That made 0 sense. The second week, I thought I was in the clear, but when Sebastian came to me with having to announce Violet's cause of death formally over the PA system, with me being leader and all, that sentence makes such little sense. Oh my goodness. I just couldn't do it. It'll get around the grapevine eventually, I told him. He didn't like that at all. He gave me another suspicious, spine-shivering look and went to do it himself. For the duration of the day, all eyes were on me. There were some eye rolls, curses, and accusing looks, which just made me more anxious than the week before. It felt like people were following me, watching my every move, waiting for me to slip up. I couldn't sleep for days. When I did, my dreams were filled with Violet's mangled body, blood-curdling screams, and Sebastian's menacing eyes. But that wasn't the worst. On Saturday of week 2, Clarissa and Isaiah sat down in front of me during lunch. They said nothing, but I know what they were thinking. We know what you did. We know why you did it. We're not going to keep it to ourselves. I couldn't be seen after that. I holed up in my bunk for days, no appetite, no desire to sleep, and returned to nightmares, no need for human contact. I was a recluse for 4 days, but then I realized something. This is what it feels like to be insane. So here's the thing. If she's, like, leader of this resistance group, how can she, like, just hole away for 4 days with no one, like, wondering where she is? Like, doesn't she have work to do? Doesn't she have, like, a job? Or is she just, like, a figurehead? Because really, you know, like, apparently Sebastian's, like, in charge of everything? I don't know. Listen, again. 14. Next. Alright, Chapter 5. Rebel Without a Cause. Things were somewhat normal after those 3 weeks. Hold on. I feel like only... You know what? Never mind. Never mind. never mind. I still had lingering paranoia and anxiety. I don't know if you can hear that, but like the bathtub is going and the bathroom is like right there. So, sorry if you can hear that, because I can definitely hear it. But anyways, I still had lingering paranoia and anxiety, but with the latest batch of new recruits, oh my goodness, I gotta reread this. Things are somewhat normal after those 3 weeks. I still had lingering paranoia and anxiety, but with the latest batch of new recruits, almost returned me to normalcy. That sentence doesn't make sense. What the heck? But with the latest batch of new recruits, almost returned me to normalcy. Was I on crack when I wrote this? None of this makes sense. It's just, oh my god, okay. Since I am leader of the resistance, which I have to remind myself of every day, I had to oversee the recruitment process. There was something off about the new batch of recruits. They looked a little lost, like they didn't exactly know what they were doing there. Some of them looked around in awe, some in confusion and fear. I'm not exactly sure how Sebastian gets his recruits, but if it was at all like he retrieved me in the middle of battle, they have every right to be scared. There were 5 new files for the underlings. They were all under the age of 25, and only one of them was born in Asium. The rest were born elsewhere and came here when they were very young. There was one recruit, the one native to Asium, who really piqued my interest. She looked almost exactly like Violet, with the exception of her gray eyes. Violet's eyes were green. Her file was quite heavy. After some reading, I found out this recruit, Viva Wakefield, was born in Asium, orphaned as a teen with her sister, and actually voluntarily joined the resistance, unlike the others who were brought here. That can't be right. She must have some sort of ulterior motive. I don't know if it was the lingering paranoia getting to me, but I pulled her aside from training to have a nice chat with her. So Viva, I began, how do you like it here so far? She shrugged. It's all right, I guess. So I read your file, I say casually. It said you came here on your own accord. She nods. I felt an obligation to. Is that so? Well, with my sister disappearing all those years ago, I figured the government might have taken her since she left without a trace. I see. So you want to get her back? Yes. I've decided to join the intelligence side of things here. I feel so close to finding her, I can feel it. Wait. I feel so close to finding her, I can feel it. Alright. Okay. There's a determined fire in her eyes, a fire I'm sure I've seen before. So your sister, I continued. What was her name? Prudence. Her name is Prudence. She didn't like that, though. She preferred to be called Violet. I stopped dead in my tracks and gulped hard. She was your twin? Is my twin, she insisted. I stammered. She probably changed your last name, too. Wakefield was the orphanage, and she hated it there. Oh, God, I whispered. This can't be happening. The memories were all flooding back at once. The anxiety, the nightmares, the paranoia, the self-hatred, the lies. What's wrong? Viva asked. Violet Stiles, I say, voice wavering, is dead. Plot twist. Secret sister. Oh my goodness. The drama. The absolute tea. Man. Alright, chapter 6. Gone. We're like, what? We're not halfway through. We're almost halfway through. How many chapters are there again? There's 14, so we're not halfway through. We're almost halfway through. Actually, I don't think this is going to take an hour now that I think about it. Dead? Question mark? Viva asked. I simply nod. No, that can't be true, she continued. Violet can protect herself. She frowned, a questioning look in her eyes. How do you even know it was her? Viva, I pleaded. She looked exactly like you. Red hair, fair skin, even freckles. No, she cried. She's not dead. You're lying. Viva, please, I say. I was there. Everyone knows what happened. Viva straightened up, furious. You killed her, she said, easily calm. Now that's a really big logical leap there to accuse, but okay. What? No. You did. Why would you show so much sadness and remorse if you didn't feel guilty? Maybe because you just witnessed someone die? I don't know. Just an option. Hey, I don't know. I stammered, fighting for words. You can ask anyone here. They'll tell you the truth. I spotted Isaiah and hurriedly beckoned him over. Tell her what happened, Isaiah. Reluctantly, Isaiah recounted the events of the day that will always haunt me. When he finished, Viva was on the verge of tears. So it's really true, she said. Violet's really gone. Isaiah and I nod. Viva wiped away the forming tears and put a determined look on her face. Well then, she said hopefully, I now have an even better reason to want to take the capital down. Wow. Just wow. I silently curse as a mess hall brand secret sauce, or rather mystery sauce, spills on my pants. It was 1 week It was 1 week after I had to deliver the news to Viva about her sister's departing, and every day after that I felt happier and happier. It was as if a weight had been lifted off my shoulders. The nightmares and anxiety finally stopped. The paranoia didn't, but the resistance is quite the shady place, so I guess it's normal. Joanna, Sebastian said, startling me away from my thoughts and mediocre food. I heard about that Wakefield girl. She passed training with flying colors. You can fail training? I asked. That's unimportant, Sebastian pressed. I want you to take her under your wing. It might do you some good. How so? Well, Joanna, it's no secret you're secretly... Wait, hold on. It's no secret you are secretly still on the totalitarian side. Someone with such anti-capital agendas and fierce determination like Viva are going to straighten you right up. Before I could say that I wasn't on the government side anymore, he briskly walked out of the mess hall. I wasn't aware that I was showing my support for the capital, secret or otherwise, but none of that mattered now. I have a mission to carry out. What mission? Girl, we don't know. God, I hate 15-year-old me so much. Honestly, reading this now, I can't believe I read this to an entire room of 10th graders and expected them not to make fun of me. They didn't, miraculously, but God, the only person who ended up making fun of me was a grown man. So, yeah. Yeah. On to the next one, I guess. Chapter 7. Battle Plan. The room was silent as Sebastian, his 2 assistants, Viva, and I entered and took our seats. So is it Sebastian, 2 other people, and then Viva and Joanna, or just Sebastian, Viva, and Joanna? Because they're, listen, I don't know. Bad writing. It's just bad writing. It's just bad writing. That's all there is to say about it. There's nothing to be explained. Okay. So, Sebastian said, it's been over a month since our last operation due to unforeseen circumstances. He shot an accusing look at me and continued, we need a new plan. Any takers? Sebastian's first assistant. Okay, there's 2 different people. I don't know why this water is making me burp, but it is. Okay, this may seem odd, Viva nervously began, but I think we should make use of the above-ground trains. Okay, I just got confused for a second. Okay, Sebastian's first assistant, Clarissa, shook her head. They'd see us coming from miles away, Clarissa said. Why do you think we use the subways? They're basically undetectable. Which, no. I mean, if you had some kind of, I don't know. What is it called? The thing that, like, recognizes earthquakes? It's not a Geiger counter, because that's with, like, nuclear stuff. But a seismograph? One of those things. You can feel the ground shaking because of a train. Like, hello. Duh. Anyways. No, I chime in, the subways still make tons of noise, which is why we didn't just drive right into the capital. We go 3/4 of the way and cover the rest by foot. The above-ground trains are used for cargo only, so we could disguise ourselves as this month's shipment of whatever and go right into the heart of the capital. Clarissa slunk into her chair and grumbled what I assumed to be insults at Viva. Well, you're right, Sebastian said after some thinking. What are we going to do when we get into the capital? We can't just expect them to hand over their station willingly. This is a battle room. We need a battle plan. I've been thinking, Sebastian's second assistant, Isaiah said. The government doesn't know what happened to Joanna. We could use her as bait. What? I exclaimed. Sounds like a great idea, Clarissa said, a sly look on her face. These 2 must have some sort of vendetta against me. He might be onto something, Viva, oblivious to the siblings' unaggressively aggressive nature towards me. That's passive-aggressive, hello. To them, you're just MIA, and they'd be happy to have you back. Yeah, sure, I guess. Yeah, alright, I say. They don't miss me. They probably already replaced me. Nonsense, Viva said. You were a staff sergeant. Which, by the way, I don't even think that's a very high rank in the military. And I remember looking up military ranks for this, and I settled on staff sergeant for some reason. But, like, I don't think that's a really high rank in the military. Like, okay, anyways. You read my file? I asked, annoyed. Well, yes, but only to know who I'd be working with. Next to, I say. She was quiet after that. I think it's a fine plan, Sebastian said. Sneak in on a cargo train and use Joanna as bait. Wonderful. We'll work out the details later. This meeting is over. Sebastian and his two assistants simultaneously got up and left, leaving me and Viva alone in the battle room. Sorry about reading your file, she said. Whatever, I say, and storm off. I thought, okay, chapter 8. At a crossroad. I have nothing to say about that last chapter. Other than that was like the halfway point, I guess. I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. I'm feeling very lightheaded for some reason. Not very, but like, I don't know. Ugh. Gotta stay hydrated, you know? Alright, chapter 8. At a crossroad. I thought the anxiety would go away after the whole Violet thing was over, but I was wrong. I'm in a tight spot now. I want to return to the capital where I belong. Am I even using the right form of capital? I don't know. I honestly don't know. But I feel that I have a certain obligation for the resistance now. Then again, if I go to the capital and carry out my plan, they'll know it was me, label me as a traitor, and will be searching for me so they can persecute me. I can't even bail out of the plan. The others will know something is really up when their leader of all people doesn't want to carry out a plan that will lead them to victory. At least I have a week to think about it before the plan has to be carried out. You're not eating anything? Viva said, snapping me out of my thoughts. The cafeteria was busy with the lunch rush, and I was sitting at a lone table. No, I say. Actually, I was just leaving. No, stay. We need to talk anyways. What's there to talk about? I asked, getting more and more agitated that Viva wouldn't let me be anxious in peace. Well, we do have a big operation coming up. This is our key to victory. I scoff. If only it was that easy. Viva cocked her head like a playful puppy. What do you mean? Never mind. What did you want anyways? To talk? About? The plan. Were you listening before? I was before, but whatever. Yes, the plan in which you use an ex-government soldier to bait the government. That plan. I have the... oh, man. I have the feeling that you don't want to do this, Viva said. I understand, but you can't back down now. We need you. Things would be fine if I wasn't so torn. Torn? Yes, torn. Now leave me alone so I could think. That in itself should be a big red flag. Like, what are you torn about? What is there to be torn about? Like, what? Hello? No? Anyway. Chapter 9. Help. Sebastian wants to see you, my bunkmate Clarissa said. What? I said Sebastian wants to see you. How do you know? You haven't left since I got here. After the day was pretty much over, I retreated to my room and saw that Clarissa was doing next to nothing. Either I was supposed to see Sebastian at a certain time, or she was lying. You wouldn't want to keep her waiting. I simply rolled out of bed and headed to Sebastian's office. He practically lived in there, so I shouldn't miss him. The door was open, so I stepped in to see Sebastian reading what looked to be a telegram. Read this, he said, and set the paper down. It read, Emergency aid cargo train, stop. Capital in trouble, stop. Perfect for plan, stop. That's how telegrams were, by the way. I'm fairly certain that's how it was. I didn't put full stop at the end, though. That's like a thing on telegrams. Anyway. A telegram was sent from Asium Timepieces, a company that made wrist watches, Since the government doesn't regulate private companies as well as they should, even though they're allegedly a totalitarian government, and that would be like one of the things that they do, anyways, these kinds of fake companies slip through the cracks. What happened in the Capitol? I asked. Blackout, he said. It's been going on for 3 days now. The looting started after the first hour, so the Capitol is in need of some medical supplies, food, and water. I set up a delivery to come straight into the Capitol. A subway will come from Asian Beach just south of here. Pick us up and take us to the midway point. From there, we'll get on an above-ground train disguised as the emergency aid. We'll refuse to give them supplies until they give us the station. Where do I come in all of this? I asked. You'll be the negotiator. But, let me finish. The government, they think you're a POW at some underground camp or whatever they think. They'll be under the facade that we'll trade the supplies and you for the station. Instead, we'll just take it by force. Wow, I breathe, unable to say anything else. The cargo comes in the day after tomorrow, so we'll need to assemble a team. And don't worry, Joanna. This time, I'll be going. Wow, so we're getting around to the climax of the story, I guess. I need another water break, because I'm thirsty. Okie dokie. Chapter 10. Pawn. I don't know why I'm doing that. Anyways, a team, I asked? We have all we need. Me, you, Viva, and Clarissa and Isaiah. 5, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 people is so not enough for this? Like, oh my god. Wow, okay. Anyway, I hesitated on the twins. We may not get along, but I guess I have no choice since Sebastian takes his lapdogs everywhere. Have you ever played chess, Joanna? Sebastian asked. You have your king and queen, your bishops, your knights, your rooks. Although you may not know it, your pawns could be the only thing between you and the checkmate you're vying for. Don't forget that. I simply nod. So, these pawns, what do they do? Unlike the other pieces, excluding the king, the pawns can only attack up close. These will essentially be like the first waves of men at Normandy. Disposable yet useful? My god, jeez. Trump finally conceded? Are you serious? Hold on. Pause. We gotta take a break. Wait. Hold on. I gotta look this up. He, like, formally conceded? I gotta see this. Hold on. Let me go to twitter.com. Actually, I hate using mobile Twitter. I'm gonna just... Hold on. We're taking a quick break. We are taking a quick break. Hold on. Hold the phone. Let me see. Let me go on my main account, because I'm on this one. Well, I was just looking at this. Where the freak is it? Okay, all I'm seeing is memes. I'm not actually... It's on his Twitter account, I'm assuming. Oh, is this a video? I guess this is a video. Hold on. We gotta watch it. We gotta watch. I'm sorry, stream, that we're diverting so hard, but we gotta watch. Screen cap. Transition. I think this should play.
I'd like to begin by addressing the heinous attack on the United States Capitol. Like all Americans, I am outraged by the violence, lawlessness, and mayhem. I immediately deployed the National Guard and federal law enforcement to secure the building and expel the intruders. America is and must always be a nation of law and order.
I'm just gonna tell you right now, the things that you're gonna hear are gonna be straight up lies. He just said that he immediately deployed the National Guard. It took a long time for the National Guard to get authorization to go down there, but whatever.
The demonstrators who infiltrated the Capitol have
I'm just going to tell you right now, I'm going to be so mad after I watch this. Just warning.
Defiled the seat of American democracy. To those who engaged in the acts of violence and destruction, you do not represent our country. And to those who broke the law, you will pay. We have just been through an intense election, and emotions are high. But now tempers must be cooled, and calm restored. We must get on with the business of America. My campaign vigorously pursued every legal avenue to contest the election results. My only goal was to ensure the integrity of the vote. In so doing, I was fighting to defend American democracy. I continue to strongly believe that we must reform our election laws to verify the identity and eligibility of all voters and to ensure faith and confidence in all future elections. Now Congress has certified the results. A new administration will be inaugurated on January 20th. My focus now turns to ensuring a smooth, orderly, and seamless transition of power. This moment calls for healing and reconciliation. 2020 has been a challenging time for our people. A menacing pandemic has upended the lives of our citizens, isolated millions in their homes, damaged our economy, and claimed countless lives. Defeating this pandemic and rebuilding the greatest economy on earth will require all of us working together. It will require a renewed emphasis on the civic values of patriotism, faith, charity, community, and family. We must revitalize the sacred bonds of love and loyalty that bind us together as one national family. To the citizens of our country, serving as your president has been the honor of my lifetime. And to all of my wonderful supporters, I know you are disappointed, but I also want you to know that our incredible journey is only just beginning. Thank you.
What is that
God
supposed to
bless you,
mean?
And God bless America.
What is that supposed to mean? Our journey is only just beginning. What is that supposed to mean? Oh my goodness. Listen, he could have done this in November, right? He could have done this when the thing was actually, well, hold on. It wasn't, okay, it took a little bit for all the electoral college votes to come in. But when all of that happened, he could have done this then. It took the United States Capitol getting ransacked for him to do this? Like, I'm mad. Hello, I am angry. Good God. Let me just read some of these chat messages. Girl, I didn't know he didn't... Oh, Pence did. The first time that he addressed it, he full on actually said, "We love you, you are very special." I remember that. I remember when that video dropped. It was so weird. Like, what? It's like saying, "I'm sorry you feel that way," when you're trying to apologize for someone. Like, you're not really apologizing. Like, you don't mean it. Like, you're just saying it because you have to, you know? Oh my God. Okay. Well, for those in the chat who are a little confused, I guess, about this, let me lower the volume, because when I play the music, it's going to be super loud. But Trump took a really long time to concede, and now he's conceding now, the day after the Capitol was broken into by rioters, okay? And honestly, at this point, can I be surprised? If he went on national television yesterday and said white power and then left, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, come on. Honestly, just be mask off at this point so I know who I'm really dealing with, you know? Oh, God. He actively planned this, and nearly 11 Republicans were planning to object the election, including, I think, both of my Alabama senators were planning on doing it. Even after all of this happened, I was on my local news station. You know, they have, like, the ticker at the bottom where they, like, scroll text, and there are, like, statements coming in from the Alabama senators saying, like, "Hey, all of this sucks that this happened, but we're still going to contest the results." Like, girl, get a grip, please. Come on. Is this really worth it at this point? And it wasn't, because the results were certified. God. It's funny how they called us monsters for Black Lives Matter, and we riot stores, but Trump supporters are rioting a U.S. Capitol, and they think they're doing something good. I'm sticking with the term terrorist because, yeah, it was domestic terrorism. It was political violence. They were breaking into rooms where lawmakers were hiding. That's why one girl died, many cops were injured, and 4 deaths total. Yeah, the woman who died, she was like she did 14 years in the military, and so here's what happened. There's a video going around on Twitter, by the way. I suggest you don't watch it because it's literally just a video of someone dying. Like, regardless of who that is, I don't want to watch someone die, that's a little bit much for me. But anyways, this woman, she got like identified yesterday. She's like, I don't know why this was going around, but apparently it was going around that it was like a teenager who died. It wasn't a teenager. It was like a 30-year-old woman with like a husband. But like she was trying to go in through a window or something, and the police said they were going to shoot, and everybody else stopped. Everybody else like backed down, but she kept going. And her final words were like, "You can't stop this," or something to that effect. And then she got shot in the chest, and she's dead. And for what? For this guy? Dying for him? Come on. Come on, really? And so the other 3 people who died were all from cardiac arrest, by the way. And I can believe that because I saw a video and like pictures from some of the people, not really the people who went inside the Capitol, but still the people who were like outside on the steps. Some of them were super old. Like I'm talking 60s and up. Like, sir, aren't you a little old for insurrection? Like, don't you have some bridge to be playing? Like, you know, don't you need to be collecting your AARP checks instead of protesting the government? Like, I really don't know. There is some, like, actually super old white people there. Like, and you know white people are, like, the most fragile old people. So, like, the fact that 3 people died of heart attacks is unsurprising to me. Unsurprising to me. Goodness. Too late, I think we all watched it. I managed to not watch it somehow, I don't know. And they weren't wearing masks and they weren't social distancing. This was a ginormous super spreader event. I don't think anyone's, like, acknowledging that. Like, so many people are going to get COVID from this, you know? There's going to be so much more death from this that aren't, like, a direct result of this, but are a result of, you know, like, basically everybody wasn't wearing a mask. And, like, in this one point, you know, breaking the law on a federal level, you would think they would want to wear a mask because it would be harder to, like, identify them. But there's just, like, full images of people. You can see their face. Some of them were even going up to reporters and telling them their names. Like, yeah, this is my name, this is where I'm from, and I'm proud to be committing several crimes. Like, hello? Miss FBI is going to be knocking on your door in, like, a week. Are you sure you want to be doing this? Like, oh my goodness. The stupidity. I can't. Oh my god. Like, insane. Oh, and to think, my friend yesterday said that this wasn't gonna matter in a week. I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of mad. I'm kind of mad about that. I'm kind of mad that he said that. I'm gonna have to tell him that at some point. Not right now. I'm streaming. But, also Nick Fuentes and Baked Alaska. I saw that too. We're in Pelosi's office, literal Nazis, a traitor Confederate flag in the Capitol. I saw so many Confederate flags. Oh my goodness, don't tread on me flags. Of course, Trump flags. I saw a Betsy Ross flag, like the 13 stars in a circle. Like, I didn't know the alt-right had co-opted the Betsy Ross flag. Like, I thought that was, you know, a symbol of early America, like a nice thing. The Betsy Ross flag. Like, okay, if you don't know what that is, hold on. It is, screen cap. It's this. Oh, well, yeah, you can see it. I saw these flags there. Like, why are these flags there? Like, hello? This, okay. And I saw several variations of the Don't Tread on Me flag, because there's a lot of versions of them. What else? Of course, I saw Confederate flags. No Nazi flags. I guess they didn't want to go fully mask off, even though they were committing insurrection. But honestly, surprised about that. Like, 0 Nazi flags. Oh, the thin blue line flags. I saw plenty of those. It's just, oh my goodness. 13 colonies. No, this was during or after the Revolutionary War. I can't remember. It's been a while. I know the stripes are still like 13 stripes. It's for the 13 colonies, and I think the stars are for the states that were like established after the American Revolution. I legit had a panic attack the other day when I realized how clear it was that we live under white supremacy and we're constantly being gaslighted about it. Yeah, and I mean, especially seeing that video where the cops just opened the gates and like let them through, and that one cop who like who took a selfie with all of them, and like, oh my goodness, you know? If anyone was wondering why the cops weren't doing anything, It's because the cops are with them. That's why they weren't doing anything. Like, oh my goodness. Oh man. I completely just derailed the stream, but I feel like that was important to say, you know? I need a moment. Oh my god. That was so much. Like, man. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. That video that we just watched, it doesn't feel like a concession. Honestly. I mean, whoops. Oh my god. I forgot. I was still doing something. Oopsie. I don't think you saw anything important. It's just my dashboard for, like, live streaming. Anyways. That didn't really feel like, I don't know. It didn't feel like a concession. Because, what? Like, what does "this is not over" mean? Like, what is that supposed to mean? You know? Like, a huge portion of cops lean right. I think I saw somewhere, it was on Twitter, so it very well could be false, but I believe it. But, like, something like 84% of cops voted for Trump. I can believe that. Like, I can fully believe that. The cognitive dissonance they must feel when fighting with their fellow Trump supporters. That's why they weren't fighting with them. We need more protection, more diverse National Guards. I was worried about him, like, going full Q. I saw a Q flag. I saw a Q flag there, too. I saw, like, a couple of crosses. Like, if you guys think Jesus is on your side, I think you're mistaken. Like, Jesus doesn't want any part of that. Where'd you get that from? But anyways, I was worried about him going full QAnon, saying he was pressured by the establishment to give a false concession. Is that something Q people are saying, that's what was gonna happen? Honestly, I don't pay attention to any of the QAnon stuff. It's just, it's so weird. The guy in the Viking hat is a Q guy. The guy who's, like, not wearing a shirt with the face paint and the horns. I have no idea who that guy was. I think they might have identified him by now, but I don't know who he was. I know the guy who was sitting in Nancy Pelosi's chair and, like, stole her mail. That guy fully went out and identified himself. Like, totally not worried about consequences. Like, you don't think, like, of all of the branches of, like, law enforcement in the United States, I feel like the FBI, well, knowing the FBI's past, who knows, but I feel like the FBI is going to be, you know, you have to fear them the most. Like, you don't mess with the FBI. You don't mess with the FBI, and you don't mess with the IRS. You just don't. Especially the IRS. Let's see. Jesus would support Trump if he didn't make colored people at all. What kind of political presence do you think Trump will maintain in the future? Honestly, I don't know. I mean, he's been banned from, Facebook and Instagram. Twitter has kind of sort of blocked him, but hasn't really done anything yet. They need to just ban him fully. Like, I don't know. He's gonna join Parler and just have the time of his life. But Trump is, like, actually old. He's, like, how old is he? He's, like, in his 80s. He doesn't have much time left on this planet. And I guess he decided to go out with a bang because of all this happening. Like, I don't see him living to, like, the next 5 years. I don't know why. Like, he's just old. He's super overweight. He loves his hamburgers. So, you know, I don't... And I'm not trying to wish ill on a person, even though it is him. But just, like, he's old. He's so old. He is old as heck. Like, dude has no business being president or working at all. He should be retired, like, doing something else. But he is so old. And honestly, Biden is super old, too. I just wish there weren't so many old people, you know? In the government. Not in general. But, you know, just, like, get somebody young in there or something. COVID probably did damage. I forgot he had COVID, too. Like, goodness, he can't be doing okay in the body department. Like, something's got to be up. And then people are saying he has, like, early onset dementia and all that stuff. That none of that's been confirmed, but I don't know, man. And that he wears, like, diapers and stuff. I don't know. This is so much. Oh my goodness. It's really comforting to think I'll probably outlive him. Yeah, that's definitely true. We'll outlive him. At some point, he's just going to be in our past. But unfortunately, we're still going to be feeling the aftermath of him, so to speak. Because all these whack jobs are probably still going to be alive for a while. You know? I wonder how many people got arrested yesterday. I think I saw something like 54 people arrested yesterday, which isn't a lot, but I don't know. I have no idea what's gonna happen. Just 2 more weeks, you're right, but I don't know. He could still do stuff in those 2 weeks. Like, I don't know. You know, a lot of people, Nancy Pelosi, I don't know if this is today or yesterday, but she was like, you know, we gotta invoke the 25th Amendment. I feel like Pence, after all that's happened, you know, after literally almost probably dying, because, you know, Trump basically turned on Pence yesterday, and those people were probably fully ready and willing to, like, commit some murders. So, considering that, you know, his own guy turned on him, I think Pence is going to be more willing to, like, just say, you know what, forget this, 25th Amendment. But like we said, it's 2 weeks. I don't know. They say MAGA will continue without him. It definitely will. It's just going to turn into something else. Jesus, I feel like he ripped off the Band-Aid now. We truly know who our fellow Americans are. No, I mean, I don't think Pence is going to turn Democratic. I'm not going to lie. He's a hardcore conservative. He's, like, super conservative. He's, like, an evangelical Christian. He's not going to turn Democrat. But imagine if they bumped into AOC or Ilhan Omar. Yeah, I was wondering about that. I don't even know if they were there then. I don't know, because I don't know about these things. I don't know if, like, everybody has to be there. Because a lot of the times, a lot of senators and representatives, sometimes when there's, like, stuff going on in the Senate or in the House, they're just not there for various reasons. I mean, you could take off your job for whatever reason, I guess, but I don't know. Yeah, that would have been very terrifying if they, like, got caught up in that. It's like watching a villain's third act break down in a Disney movie. AOC has to be president in 2024. In your opinion, yeah. Gosh, I don't know. All of this is just so much. It's just so much. I thought I was done with this. You know, I was having an okay week this week, and then all of this happened. It's just like, oops, mental health, who is she? Sorry, I don't know her. Pramila Jayapal was hiding, I saw in a video. She's a progressive legend. Yeah, I saw a video of, like, some people crouched behind some chairs while the people were, like, coming into the Senate floor. That was terrifying. Let's all move to Canada. Honestly, okay, here's the tea. The leader of the Proud Boys, oh, what's his name? He co-founded Vice. Oh my god. What is his name? Oh my goodness. Gavin McInnes. Is he? Where is he from, actually? So, anyways, I'm fairly certain, let's see, later. Anyways, I'm fairly certain Gavin McInnes, he's, like, from Canada. I don't know where I gotta find this out. I don't want to, like, be lying or nothing. Gavin McInnes. Where he from? He's actually born in England. Where's he from, though? Okay. He immigrated to Canada as a child. So, okay. He's Canadian, right? All that stuff is in Canada. Like, oh, and I saw the wildest video today on Twitter. They're, like, having pro-Trump rallies in Japan. Like, the most far-removed country from all of this you could think of is Japan. And they're having far-right pro-Trump rallies there. It's insane. You wouldn't think that happens, but it happens. And so, you know, this isn't limited to the United States. Trust and believe. Like, this is essentially everywhere. What was I going to say? Yeah, all this stuff is in Canada. Like, there are neo-Nazis in Canada. There are, surprisingly, Klan members. Well, that's not really surprising. There are Klan members in Canada. There are, I mean, the Klan is starting to die out, but that doesn't take from the fact that there are so many other white supremacist groups. But there's a bunch of stuff, like, in Canada. So moving to Canada isn't really going to fix that. And given that all of this is happening, you know, Canada, they have, like, a whole lot of immigration. And, you know, the Canadian government at large seems to be really pro-immigration. And I feel like all of that will cause a lot of pushback to happen from, you know, anti-immigration people. And I feel like if some kind of thing were to happen there, it would be, like, even more intense, you know, because of the high immigrant population in Canada. So I don't think Canada's going to be any better, I'm not going to lie. Let's go to Mars. Oh boy, gotta wait for Elon Musk to colonize Mars before we could do that. Oh my god. I feel like the clan is just transforming. Yeah, it is. It is. It's turning into other things. Oh. You know, somebody tried to comfort me when I said on my Twitter, my other Twitter, that, you know, the clan was, like, essentially dead until a book came out. And that's true. I wrote an entire paper about it in college, right? Like, until, well, okay, a book and a movie. But until The Klansman by guy whose last name is Dixon, I forgot his first name, and The Birth of a Nation, directed by D.W. Griffith came out, the Klan was dead. It lasted for 14 years after the Civil War, and it fizzled out. And then, you know, some people saw that movie. This one guy, I forgot his name, in Stone Mountain, Georgia, which is like outside of Atlanta, he saw that, and on Thanksgiving Day of all days, the day where we're supposed to be most thankful for things, he goes out to Stone Mountain with, like, some buddies or whatever, and, like, restarts the clan, and then that just lasts for, like, a really long time, up until today. Apparently there's technically a third iteration of the clan, but it's not like a hard reset like the first to the second was. But, anyhow. Yes, give us the history. I learned this in the 13th documentary. I never even saw 13th. I should probably watch that, actually. It did win, like, an Oscar or something. I mean, I'll admit, Japan is very conservative, and they have serious problems with racism and sexism, which is true. So I'm disappointed, but not surprised there's a Trump rally in Japan. I don't know. I was a little bit surprised, though. Like, Japan? Like, oh, God. That's so wild. That is so incredibly wild. Oh, my goodness. Whew. Let's all take some breaths, all right? With me. Do it with me. All right. Deep breath in. Hold it. And out. One more time. Deep breath in. Hold it. And out. All right. Are we feeling a little bit more calm? I hope so. I am. That actually worked. I'm surprised. You should. It's amazing. It goes over the prison industrial complex. Why support Trump if they don't live in the U.S.? Well, I guess at this point it's more of an ideology than anything. Of just like, I mean, it doesn't really make sense for non-white people to support white supremacy, because that goes against your entire existence. But listen, intelligence isn't their strong suit. So, I will say, among, like, I know you just said this, but, like, among Asian countries and stuff, I don't know a whole lot about it, but this is what I do know. Japan is, like, I don't know how I'm gonna sound for saying this, but it feels like almost that, like, Japan is like the white people of Asia, or the Europeans, I should say, because they went around colonizing everybody. They colonized everybody. China did too, but I feel like Japan, they had like a real go at it, especially with, like, all of the war crimes. Anyways, I just took a couple of deep breaths. I don't want to talk about this anymore. One more deep breath. All right, ready with me? Deep breath in. Hold it. And out. Let's resume reading The Underground, shall we? All right. Ooh, that's loud. Let's resume. Okay. I'm just gonna start over with this chapter. Chapter 10. Pawn. A team, I ask. We have all we need. Me, you, Viva, and Clarissa and Isaiah. I hesitated on the twins. Oh man, I don't know why this water makes me burp so much, but it does. We may not get along, but I guess I have no choice since Sebastian takes his lapdogs everywhere. Have you? Oh my god, I'm so phlegmy right now. Give me a second. That's so gross. Okay. Have you ever played chess, Joanna? Sebastian asked. You have your king and queen, your bishops, your knights, and your rooks. Although you may not know it, your pawns could be the only thing between you and the checkmate you're vying for. Don't forget that. This feels a little loud. I'm gonna lower this a tad. I hope that's not too quiet. Okay. So, I simply nod. So, these pawns, what do they do? Unlike other pieces, excluding the king, the pawns can only attack up close. The queen can also attack up close. I don't know why I left that out. These will essentially be like the first waves of men at Normandy. Disposable yet useful. That's sus. I don't know why I wrote that. That's so weird. Normandy happened nearly 100 years ago. Oh, we got some exposition. Normandy happened nearly 100 years ago. Asium was probably just a small village in Czechoslovakia back then. I don't know why I was obsessed with, like, I know. It's because of Half-Life. I played Half-Life 2 around this time. And Half-Life 2 is, like, based in Eastern Europe, so that's why I did that. That makes sense. I'm still obsessed with Half-Life 2, by the way. So Joanna, you'll be in charge of finding these pawns, 2 from each station. But there's at least 60 stations. That's 120 people. Joanna, don't cut me off. I was going to say 2 from each station in a 50-mile radius. That's from here to the capital, but in a circle. You dragged out the word circle as if I was simple? Oh my god. My face is hot with embarrassment. I do jump to conclusions often, don't I? Our telegram operator sleeps at odd hours, so you might have some luck at 3 a.m. I nod again and head back to my bunk. I'm sure Clarissa would love to hear she's part of our next operation. I would tell her, Clarissa, you're going to take the capital station and we need your help, and she would just drink it up. Forget that. I'll tell her tomorrow. Maybe catch her by surprise. When I walk in my bunk, Clarissa is excitedly tiptoeing around as if she's heard the greatest news ever. Ready for tomorrow, Bunky? She says, almost condescendingly. Damn. Chapter 11. Arrival. We're getting into the spicy parts now. We're nearing the end. Yeah, we got 4 chapters left. Chapter 11. Arrival. What a night. That telegraph operator was some guy I've never met. Sebastian didn't tell him that I was coming, so he was rude and ornery. Also, not to interrupt, but I have decided we are going to do the thing after this, so stay tuned. After all of that, I found it hard to sleep because of nerves. Now that it's morning, I have no choice but to get out of bed and prepare for 26 troops from the other station to come here sometime today. Usually it would be Sebastian giving orders and such, but today he said I have to begin taking responsibility as leader. Until he said that, I had almost completely forgotten that I was leader of the resistance. Okay. When all of them arrive, I have to give them a speech about how happy I am to have them there and all that guff. Ready for today, Bunky, Clarissa said, still bundled in bed. I ignore her and make my way to the tracks. When I got there, I saw 2 scared-looking individuals. Are you 2 lost? I say jokingly. It looks as if they didn't get it. Our station received a telegram, the fresh-faced soldier said. So here we are. You don't look like us, Sebastian. Here we go. Well, I'm not. My name is Joanna Ayers, and I'm the new resistance leader. Underground, the other soldier says. We're not resisting, we're fixing things in Asium. Whatever you say, I think to myself. What station are you from? I asked, trying to bite back my last comment. West Candia. Candia, oh my god. Oh, these names, they suck. I'm just letting you know right now. West Candia, the fresh-faced one says. You should have seen it. There was a parade on the surface. My heart sank. All 26 of these troops aren't coming home. All of them? My god. That's just life, I guess. Oh, yeah, because of the whole pawn analogy. Yeah. Okay. After my chat with the Candians, I hate the name so much. Candians? It's so bad. The trains came in one by one. Warsaw, which is actually a city in Poland, by the way. I don't know why I chose that. Kaswitz, Bedlam. I don't even know how to say this one. What is this? Atabe? Why did I put that in there? Oh my god. Blackhorn, Durin, Lichten, Steinberg, Lipny. These names are so... These names are so bad. I'm freaking out. Lipny, Chilwitz, Bessemer, and Malnikov, all vaguely Eastern European names, of course, were in attendance. They all look so nervous. I feel as if I'm doing orientation for new recruits. I wonder if they know they might not come home, or rather back to their stations, since most of them don't have homes anymore. I step up to the podium a few feet away from the tracks. Some of the soldiers notice me and hush the others around them. Greetings and welcome, fellow members of the underground. I almost slip up and say resistance, even though it's clearly what they are. I have noticed that some of you look nervous, more like all of them. I want to tell you that there's nothing to be nervous about. With all of your firepower alongside ours, we are guaranteed to win. I must be making a strange face because Sebastian is giving me a hard stare. Anyways, we at the South Central Station welcome our comrades with open arms. Later today, we will have another meeting to discuss the battle plan. Thank you again for coming. As if they had a choice. Some of them maybe, but I can tell that some soldiers, especially the fresh-faced Candian from before, were made to come. The crowd dispersed and I stepped down from the podium. That could have been better, Sebastian whispered when I was within earshot. I don't know what's been going on with you lately, but you need to tighten up. Oh god, burped again. Without leaving time for a reply, Sebastian disappeared in the crowd of troops. I'm gonna burp again. Oh my god, this is making me mad. I have no idea what he's talking about, but I have no time to think about it. The armory is expecting me. This chapter is actually pretty long, I'm not gonna lie. It's longer than the other ones. When I come back to the tracks, the troops look less scared and more determined. I, however, am very tired. I've been working all morning. I had to give the armory orders for specialized weapons and then get turned down. Crossbows and maces aren't standard issue here. Who was asking for... Anyways, I had to sway the medical staff to allow more field medics to be taken along, and had to explain to a few angry South Central soldiers why they won't be coming. Okay, so this is the first time this is actually coming up, but the station that they're actually at is called the South Central Station, and you don't know that until literally you're almost done with the story. That's so lame. I was worn out by the time I reached the tracks, and to top it off, I still have to give another meeting to the troops. Some of them see me approaching and excitedly huddle together. Viva, Clarissa, and Isaiah are standing close to the podium. Viva looks extremely nervous, and when I meet her gaze, she quickly looks away. Clarissa comforts her, and Isaiah smirks. That was strange. I step up to the podium and begin. Hello everyone, I'm sure you've already heard bits and pieces of information at your own stations, so I'll just try to piece together everything. I relate to the crowd the plan Sebastian told me. I could see hope in their eyes as if they really believe they might win this. Those are our final plans, so rest assured that you are up to date on everything. Now that all of you are briefed on what's to come, please stop by the clinic and armory to prepare for departure. We will be leaving in approximately 6 hours. Wow. Chapter 12, Travel. How many chapters are left? So we're down to the wire here. We're at the last 2 chapters. I think the last 2 kind of serve as a 2-parter. No, they don't. I don't know why I said that. They don't. Take it easy, Joanna, the medic said, handing me my coat. Good luck. With me being leader and all, I had to get checked out last. The others are probably anxiously awaiting my arrival in the tracks. Instead of my normal uniform, I was wearing a slightly tattered uniform that would have been used decades ago. That way I look like an actual prisoner, even though it hasn't been decades. I don't know how long it's been. Because this is written so poorly, I can't tell how time is passing. Except for like the random 3 weeks in the middle. Or no, it's been a month. So it's been like 2 months. It's been 2 months, and all this is happening. What? Anywho, anyways. Where am I? That way I look like an actual prisoner. As I pass the armory on the way, I can see the lights are off and the walls are looking more barren than usual, with most of the weapons lent to the soldiers. Godspeed, Joanna, the ammunitions manager says to me as I pass. Of all times, now I get butterflies. Today could be the beginning of the future for Azium, or the end for me. As I approach the tracks, I can see the soldiers patiently sitting. One of them spots me and stands up. The rest catch on until all 26 troops, Viva, Clarissa, Isaiah, and Sebastian, are standing up. eyes fixed on me. The butterflies become hornets. I raised a fist in the air, the universal sign of rebellion. Also, okay, I don't want to divert too much, but that line just made me remember that, what is that guy's name? He's a senator. I'm talking about yesterday. God. Pennsylvania, I think? I forgot his name. He's got a really thin nose, that's all I remember. But he does. But as he was, like, walking out of the Senate to go somewhere, I don't know. I don't know if he was walking out before or after it happened, like when they, probably not when they evacuated. I think it happened before everything went down. But he held up, like, the black power fist to all of them, and I'm like, oh, child. Anyways, we're back on topic. Alright. For Asium, I say. For Asium, they shout, raising their fists in the air. I lower mine, and one by one, they file into 3 awaiting train cars. Wait, 3? Sebastian, I say, why are there 3 train cars? We only needed 2. 2 for them, 1 for us, Clarissa said, as if I asked her. We load our separate train cars and go on our way. Something is poking me on this chair. I don't know if it's like a crumb, but it's somewhat comfortable. I'm wearing shorts, like I can feel it. Anyways, we load our separate train cars and go on our way. Some of South Central came to see us off. As the 3 train cars traveled along the rickety old tracks, the hornets settled down to their fluttery butterfly state. I feel like getting closer to, like, your objective would just make you more nervous, but I guess not. I don't know. Viva looked calmer than before. Oh my goodness. I know I have to feel like I have to burp so hard. Ugh, I don't like that. More water probably isn't going to fix it, but ouch. I have to lubricate my vocal cords, you see. Where am I? Viva looked calmer than before, but she's still warily over... What? She's still warily... I'm missing a word. She still looked warily over to me every few seconds. I wish I knew what she was... I'm missing a period, too. Oh my god. She still looked warily over to me every few seconds. Period. I wish I knew what she was so worried about. I want to think it's because she's nervous for me because I'm bait. After all, she did lose a sister, so... Oh, it must be hard to imagine she might lose someone else close to her, right? It literally hasn't been that long. It's been a few weeks. I don't even know if it's been a few weeks. They aren't close. Okay. I think we all know why I got a separate train car just for us, Sebastian said, his face expressionless, making it all the more eerie. Once we unload, the other 26 will cram into one tiny shipping container, while we ride up front with a conductor. The 4 of us will be your escort. Until you get the go-ahead, you will have no weapons, and your hands will be tied as if you were an actual prisoner. Prisoner. That word resonated with me. Sometimes I felt like a prisoner in the resistance, like a puppet, or worse, someone with Stockholm Syndrome. There's something telling me I have to leave, but I just can't. Again, it's been 2 months. It hasn't been that long. The train screeched to a halt, jostling me awake. Had I fallen asleep? I tried to sit up, but something prodded me to stay down. My hands were tied already. When I finally got my bearings, I realized I was no longer in the subway car, but what looked to be a proper train. Hard metal seats, flashing buttons and bright words saying power and emergency brake, and levers everywhere. I was in no normal train, but a steam engine? Dude, where'd they get a steam engine? And this is like, what, 2040 something? They still got steam engines that work? Okay, cool. Yeah, sure. No, actually, it's not. It's like the 2020s, actually, I think. I can't remember. Yeah, I can't remember. Whatever 100 years after World War II. Actually, no, it is the 2020s. So yeah, I guess we still have steam engines. It's really... Okay, whatever. Anyways. Also, like, there's not a lot of space in, like, you know, the very front of a train where, like, a conductor is. It's, like, it's only enough space for, like, 1, maybe 2 people. I think I am. Oh, no. My stream just cut out. I have no idea how long that was doing that for. Hold on. I gotta... Let me look at something real quick. I don't know how long this was doing it for. Like, it cut out, but it reconnected. So I guess it's fine? I don't know. Yeah, it cut out. Okay. I have no idea for how long, but I mean, we're back now. For some reason, OBS like started the live counter like over, so now it's like 35 seconds instead of like an hour and something. But anyways, it's good right now. Okay, that's cool. Let me go back and all right. I'm just gonna start over from right here. Right here. The train screeched to a halt, jostling me awake. Had I fallen asleep? I tried to sit up, but something prodded me to stay down. My hands were tied already. When I finally got my bearings, I realized I was no longer in a subway train car, but in what looked to be a proper train. Hard metal seats? God, spit in my windpipe. Flashing buttons and bright words saying power and emergency brake and levers everywhere. I was in no normal train, but a steam engine. With all the noise those barbaric things make, the capital would have heard us coming and prepared for an attack. I tried getting up again, but something prodded me harder in the ribs to stay down. The metal floors were cold and menacing. This has to be a dream. I opened my mouth to speak, but taste the familiar yet distant tang of something sweet. They used chloroform on me. I know I'm supposed to be a prisoner, but this is overkill. They must have put a rag over my face as I dozed off. All right, sweetheart, time to go. I recognized one of South Central's soldiers standing over me with a rifle, which is what he probably used to prod me. Come on, get up, the soldier said, dragging me up by the ties around my wrists. Something's gone wrong. This isn't right. Oh no, do we have a double cross? All right, we are at the penultimate chapter, 13, Sting. What's going on? I asked, lethargic and confused. The soldier simply said, orders. He shoved me out of the train, almost making me fall on the hot, dusty ground. Surely he would know, like, she's like the leader. Like, he doesn't know that? Anyway. I mean, hey, he said orders, so orders. He jumped down beside me along with another South Central soldier. Viva, the twins, and Sebastian were nowhere to be seen. The usually luminous gates of the capital were now dark and dead-looking. The two soldiers pushed me into the stone-paved road and into the city. The first thing I saw was the Capitol building, towering over the street. Main Street, which was normally bustling and lively, was empty and lined with non-working street lamps. A small orange shipping crate was in the middle of the road with two soldiers wearing resistance uniforms talking to a man with a fashionable yet dingy suit. Where is she? If she's not here soon, then we'll have to... He broke off after seeing me approaching. Oh, this music. Oh, good. So you want to... What now? Take us to the eye, a booming voice, which I recognize as Sebastian said. There's a flash of alarm in the suited man's eyes. I should have said be-suited. I like saying besuited. That's a fun word. No one speaks to the overseeing eye, he stammered. Do you want supplies or not? Sebastian asked. After a few thoughtful seconds, the suited man motioned for us to come along. Both of my escorts gave me a sharp prod with their guns. As we walked down the street, I could see that the town wasn't completely dead. Store owners sat in front of boarded-up shops. The P, ready to scatter if anything went down. Instead of... Why are they there if it's board... Anyways. Instead of tensing, they took a few steps forward to observe the suited man. Freaking heck. It feels like there's a crumb in my seat, and it's poking me in the thigh, and I cannot get rid of it. Oh my god. It's driving me insane. Okay. Where was I? Instead of tensing, they took a few steps forward to observe the suited man. Sebastian, the two soldiers, and I walked down the road and towards the Capitol. Ouch! Gosh. Just smacked myself with my drawstring on my shorts. Anyways, the atmosphere was that of a funeral procession. A shiver ran down my spine as I approached the Capitol building. I haven't been there in ages. I'm realizing how all of this is sounding now. With, like, you know, the whole resistance and the going into the Capitol and all of that. It's weirdly relevant, but I promise you it goes down differently in this story than it does in, like, actual history. So, yeah. Where am I? losing my spot. The glow of the setting sun illuminated the glass dome of the building and made it sparkle, almost blinding me. Here we are, the suited man said. Take us to the eye, Sebastian demanded. Eye is supposed to be capitalized, since, you know, it's a proper noun. Anyways, the suited man hesitated for a moment, then led us into the building. Inside were Viva and the twins, being furiously questioned by 2 men in black suits. They must be security. There, see? Official business, Viva said, pointing to our group. The tall, black-suited man looked to our group, to Viva and the twins, and then motioned all of us on our way. The 2 soldiers gave me a sharp prod in the ribs, as they always do. I probably have a bruise there now. This is kind of long, I'm not gonna lie. Also, I don't know if I just spoiled you guys, but where am I? We went down, where am I? We went down a dark, marble-floored hallway with an elevator at the end. I'm gonna burp again. No, I'm not, never mind. Okay. With an elevator at the end, the elevator had reflective doors that I could see myself in as we came closer. I looked so miserable. My dark brown hair was dirty and ruffled. Dark circles accumulated under my eyes after months of inadequate sleep, and I wore a tired and defeated look on my face. I looked like an actual tortured prisoner. The suited man pushed the up button. Mechanisms are amazing, he said with a nervous laugh. Literally, what does that mean? Anyways, a normal elevator runs on electricity, okay. But the Capitol building's elevators have a backup steam-powered system. So now we have, like, the bonus steampunk element with the dystopian genre. That's cool, I guess. I don't even know how that would work, but yeah, I really don't know how that would work. An elevator that runs on anyways. The reflective doors screeched open, showing a dark, yet tidy elevator. The soldiers prodded me inside, and the suited man followed, almost tripping over his own feet. Suited man doesn't have a name. We don't know who he is, we don't know what he does, and I'm fairly certain that's how it goes for the rest of the story. Like, what is this man's significance? I don't know. There weren't many buttons in this elevator, just floors 1 through 5, open, close, and the standard emergency stuff. There was, however, a button secluded from the others. It was red with an eye engraved into it. It was inside a hard plastic box that the suited man lifted to push. The elevator shook and laboriously ascended to what I assumed to be the 6th floor. Anybody could push that button, by the way. Anyways, the elevator then stopped without opening its doors. Are you sure you want to do this? The suited man asked, sweat forming on his brow. Are you sure you want to eat tonight? Sebastian retorted. Just open the door. If you say so, the suited man said. In all my years of living, I never thought I would see the eye for myself. Part of me was nervous, while the other part was excited. The suited man sighed and pushed the door open, revealing what looked to be an elevator door with a keyboard and speaker on it. Okay. Permission to enter, sir, the suited man said to the speaker. He does have a name, I forgot. Stanley, this better be good, a voice said over the speaker. I didn't recognize it. It is, sir. It's about the, negotiations. By the way, this kind of thing, that's, like, that's a British thing. I don't know why I included that. Is he British? Is he from the United Kingdom? What? Anyways, the voice in the speaker grumbled and said that we could come in. Stanley punched a code in the keypad and the door ceremoniously opened. Hanging my head, I winced and the soldiers forcefully prodded me ahead. Welcome home, Joanna, a familiar voice said. I looked up to see Violet. She's not dead. Wow. Twist. Plot. Twist. Okay. I need to put some of this Burt's Bees on because my lips are breaking real hard. I don't know why. Probably because I'm talking so much. Alright. Final chapter. Chapter 14. Stung. Get it? Sting and then stung? Clever. How long is this? This isn't that long, actually. I mean, I don't know. It was Viva who spoke. Yeah, you're alive? This can't be. How? In due time, sister. Violet walked up to our group and hugged Viva. It's nice to see you, she said. And even nicer to see you, she whispered to me. I'm phlegmy again? Give me a second. I actually don't know if blowing my nose would help, but I have no tissue around here, so I just gotta suck it in, I guess. It is very gross. Please, come in, sit down, she said, breaking her embrace of Viva. Not you, she said to me. So I stood where I was. Do I have a story to tell? Violet exclaimed, taking a seat beside the desk where the eye was sitting. It's a person, by the way. They're all saying I is a person. You're the star, Joanna. Let's think back to a while ago. Earlier this year? I swear it's been 2 months. That's literally how much time's passed. But whatever. Earlier this year, perhaps, when you thought I was dead. I hate being reminded of that day. The fact that Violet's alive only makes it worse. I must have been pulling a weird face, again, because Violet laughed. You remember it, don't you, Joe? I was shot by 3 government turrets, but I didn't die. You're right, Joanna, they do check the turrets after they've been activated. Less than 30 minutes after you left, which, by the way, 30 minutes? Enough for someone to bleed out. She's shot by 2 7-foot turrets. She should be dead, but whatever. I needed a good plot twist, okay? Less than 30 minutes after you left, they found me, bloodied and weak, and took me to a hospital. After I was strong enough, I told them everything. They congratulated me for all my hard work. I noticed Violet was wearing a government army uniform. You lied to me, Viva said, a hurt look on her face. You weren't kidnapped, you became a spy. That's where you're wrong, sis. I didn't tell you anything. You simply assumed I was kidnapped and went to work for them in hopes of avenging a death that never happened. I applaud your determination, I do, but your priorities are a little skewed now, aren't they? Viva fell silent. Speaking of priorities, Violet said, turning to me, yours are a little skewed too, aren't they? You were a devout little government worker. There is no way you could change your mind. You could just change your mind. I knew you led me to my death, and I know you're going to lead the rest of them to their deaths, starting with those 2. She pointed to Isaiah and Clarissa, the witnesses. After you pick them off, you'll kill Sebastian for kidnapping you and forcing you to work for the underground. Next, okay. I need to slow down. Next, you'll turn everyone against themselves so that the strongest chapter of the underground will be left in disarray. That way, you'll be able to leave Azium once and for all, starting a peaceful life elsewhere. A nice plan, I would say. I was astonished. But how? Violet cut me off. Don't you think it was a little strange to have a clock hanging in your bunk? The clock! It was there one day and gone the next. Yes, that did seem a little strange. I can't. That did seem a little strange. With all the paranoia I had, I assumed it was just a hallucination. Some kind of sick taunt my subconscious made up to terrorize me. Surveillance clocks, which, you know, they do make clocks that have, like, cameras in them, so this isn't that, like, wacky, but... Surveillance clocks were often used by the government, but there's no way they could have infiltrated so easily and quietly. The government has been spying on me. They must have seen me writing in my journal that day and found out my plan that was indeed true. Even though she gave 0 inclinations to any of this throughout the story. Any of it. How are we supposed to know? This is literally just made up last second. But whatever. Violet continued. This whole ordeal, the blackout I mean, was my idea. You're gonna have to face the truth sooner or later, Joanna. Now that you have, well, I'm done here. You guys can go home. Maybe make a better plan. I don't know. Try harder next time, Sebastian. They could have, like, arrested them on the spot, though, right? Because that makes no sense. It just doesn't make any sense. Sebastian was seething. Viva looked sad. It was a mixture of things. The twins were switching between an I told you so look and staring daggers into me. The eyes sat eerily quiet, seeming to enjoy Violet's little spiel. Violet looked satisfied with herself. Oh my god, I just burped. Violet reached into her pocket and produced a pair of handcuffs, which she tossed to Sebastian. My mind flashed back to just last week. Sebastian was telling me what he would do if anyone decided to become a traitor. Okay, we wouldn't kill them, I remember him saying, but we'd make them wish they were dead. He proceeded to tell me about a treasonous prisoner's day waking up to blaring horns, being forced to repair miles and miles of tracks with their bare hands, receiving one measly meal a day, and if the treason was severe enough, where the heck am I? I just lost my place. Was severe enough, 5-minute whippings every hour. Oh, my eye itches. That's so wacky. 5-minute whippings every hour. Okay. I mean, if you're gonna commit war crimes, I guess go all out for it. Actually, I don't know if any of this is an actual war crime. I don't think receiving prisoners of war is like a war crime. I actually don't. I have no idea. I wasn't in Geneva that day, so I can't really say. That would be my life now. There's no denying it. I can't let this happen to me. I have to think fast. The gun. There's a gun strapped around my ankle. Why is there a gun strapped around her ankle? There shouldn't be. Before Sebastian could reach me,